it's Ashley.
And Jason.
So today we are going to be doing something really fun. We came up with 10 questions and we are going to be doing the first A&J Couples Tag Challenge. But before we get into it, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, hit that notification bell to become part of the family. And if you like our content, definitely share with your friends and family to help our family and our channel grow. With that said, let's just get into our questions, and here we go.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, question number one.
Number one.
What are 3 of your favorite smells?
It's easy. One of my favorite smells has always been one of my favorite smells since I was a kid. Is a certain type of Christmas tree. I don't even actually know what kind. I think it's like a generic.
I thought you said it was the Douglas fir.
I think it's the Douglas fir. I'm pretty sure it's on those Yankee candles. But that's my all-time favorite smell. Just because it reminds me of being a kid during Christmas time, which I love Christmas. First one. Second, I love the smell of like Thanksgiving, but specifically I like the chocolate satin pies. From Marie Callender's.
That's a good
Love that smell. And then I would say the third would be coffee. U-Band coffee. Because when I was a kid, my mom used to always cook it in the morning and you'd always smell it waking up. There you go. Boom.
Folgers
3.
in your cup. When you were saying that, I thought of Folgers.
Oh yeah. Folgers commercial, remember those? Okay.
Dating ourselves. For me, my favorite smells are, well, number 1 would have to be the lumber section of Home Depot. My grandma used to work there. Yes. My grandma used to work there, and every time I smell it, it reminds me of her. So I really like the smell of lumber. And then I love the smell of anything fall related, like pumpkin spice.
That's true.
Apple, cinnamon, chocolate, anything that reminds me of the fall season, which we're in now, thank God. It just makes me a happier person. And then third one would also have to be coffee because it just perks me up, and I for some reason, I wasn't raised around it, but for some reason it just smells so good. All right, so question number 2.
Number 2.
What Disney couple reminds you of us?
I mean, for me, I think just defaulted for many, many reasons, but I love Mickey and Minnie, so I think of us just like Mickey and Minnie. Also because I feel like with some of the other classic couples, it's not the classic married couple where it seems like Mickey and Minnie are. Yeah.
For me, now this is kind of funny, and I have to give props to Jason's dad for this question because he actually, like a couple of hours before our wedding, he actually officiated our wedding. So
it's true. It's a whole other story.
He wanted to get some more notes. And he actually asked me to meet him down in the lobby of the hotel and asked me this question. And I think he asked you the same question as well.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah.
And I said the same answer as Jason, and I agree, Mickey and Minnie. And he asked me why, and I said, because not only does Mickey always come to Minnie's rescue when she needs help, but it's just the love between them. And for me, Jason's always been there for me, and we do everything together. We're inseparable.
Well, yeah, and I think too, it pretty much doesn't have that much to do with it, but Mickey started it all. Mickey was the very beginning of Disneyland, everything, so I love that connection as well.
Well, and then Disney is a big part of our relationship too. That was like the one reason why we hit it off. So
big interest. It was a big interest.
Our relationship started with the mouse.
Like Walt.
Yeah. All right. So number 3. Out of our dates we've gone on, that you remember, past or present, which one is your favorite and why?
The second one, probably. Just because it was new, we went to, it was the pier.
Yes.
And we played video games, we ate food. I think we had a chance to just talk, which is a great second, first, third date, because for me, I want to talk to the person and get to know them, as opposed to going to the movies or something where you can't even talk to them. So I liked that part where I could get to know you and we had fun.
I was actually going to say that too, that the second date was my favorite just because I grew up going to that harbor. So it was just kind of cool that one of our first legit like destination dates was in one of my childhood favorite places, and we've got some crazy things that happened on that date, and if you want to hear that, definitely let us know in the comments down below because it is funny. All right, question number 4. What is your favorite physical trait about me?
Physical trait?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, physical trait. So I'm gonna go with the eyes because they sparkle and they're hazel green. I'm gonna go with that answer just because I'm not sure who's watching. But
My favorite physical trait is your arms.
yeah, she went with a safe answer. Anyway,
All right, so question number 5. What was your favorite part of our wedding? Or if you are not married, what is your favorite special event you went to with me?
wedding. First off, I'm gonna say for the most part I liked the entire wedding. There's always ups and downs. The wedding, can go by really fast when you're the one getting married. But I think that the moment that Ashley and her dad walked down the aisle was probably the biggest moment, just because we didn't do a first look, and to see her for the first time walking down the aisle, it's huge, and that's obviously kind of a default, like that's the first thing, a huge moment that I'll never forget because it's vividly in my mind. Also, I'm gonna say that, and I wouldn't say this about, I've been to a lot of weddings, I wouldn't just say this about every wedding I've ever been to, it's I think that's something that sticks out, but I really loved our music selection because we actually played music from Disneyland rides. For instance,
Yeah,
I remember Pirates of the Caribbean, literally, not the Yo-Ho song, but literally the sounds and instrumentation of Pirates of the Caribbean and different sounds in the ride. This was awesome. I loved that. And people did comment about that, but that would be my answer.
For me, my answer would be 2, actually. So first, the first time that I saw you, you were walking past the bridal suite. The window was open for some reason. The blinds were open, and I saw you for the first time, and I thought you looked really handsome. And then the second one that you just reminded me of when we were walking out was the fact that we actually walked out when his dad announced us husband and wife to the Star Wars theme song. And that was my idea, by the way.
It was, and believe me, people commented about the different music selection. It was awesome. And I think it was us, so that's, yeah.
Number 6, out of all the Disney trips, or just trips in general, what are your top 3 favorites that we have gone to?
I had personally thought about, I'll take it a step further back before I get into that, but when I started, dating people, one of the first big things I thought of was whoever I go on a date with, if things go well down the line, our first Disney trip. Like I always thought that every single time. I'm like, oh, what's it gonna be like? And how's it gonna go? Because that's like a big moment. You're not just going on a date for like an hour or 2. You're going a whole day to Disneyland. Anyway, so when it came down to it and we were dating and then we finally were like, yeah, let's go to Disneyland. I had been waiting for that moment for a while to see, how things would go. And of course, we both love Disney, and that trip was my favorite just because we experienced it both for the first time. We swapped stories on like how many times we'd been and if we'd grown up with it, and it was just good to catch up on that too, and favorite rides and all sorts of stuff. So it was definitely probably my favorite. First time, this isn't gonna be typical, but I loved it. I always look forward to experiencing the first time experiences with my kids. First time with Annie to Disneyland, which she was super young. She wasn't even 1 year old. And first time with my Sawyers.
Which they were around the same age.
Yeah. So with Moons and with the Sawyers, I mean, those three, easy.
My favorite three are also those three, but I will say a couple that Jason did not mention. One of them was technically not in the park, but it's on the Disneyland Resort, and it was the night of our wedding. We were gifted a couple of nights stay at the Fantasy Suite.
Yeah, which was
Disneyland.
awesome. Totally awesome.
And it was so cool. From the TV the TV speakers were in the bathtub. There was a sauna. There was a couple of funny stories, and we'll definitely do some videos on that as well, because
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what I was thinking
it was
too.
awesome, and we actually have footage from it too.
Yeah.
And then, let's see, I loved our trips where we had some help with the kids too, when we can actually feel like we're back to our old
Oh yeah.
dating
Yeah.
life.
I was thinking about that. Yeah.
Because you never realize when you're younger and dating that you will never be able to go on the bigger rides until your kids are a lot older. And literally the last 3 years, we've literally only gone on Fantasyland rides.
Well, even beyond that, it's awesome.
And then the third one would most likely be the fact that your family is so big. So when we go on Disneyland trips, it literally feels like we're our own little colony, and it's kind of cool because
entourage going by.
In my family, it was literally just me and my parents, and when my sister came along, it was only us four going. So when I was introduced to going to Disneyland with his whole family, it was a whole new adventure, and it's pretty awesome. It's its own epic moment all in itself.
Oh yeah.
Number 7. What's your favorite personality trait of yourself and your favorite personality trait of me?
Favorite personality trait of yourself? In myself? I know that sounds strange, but I know there's a transition where when you're younger, you don't feel like you can be yourself because you want to be other things that you think are cool or something like that. But I've always felt like, I don't care. I'm just going to be me and do what I want to do. I mean, for instance, I don't drink. I never have. I think I did once or something, but there's a whole story behind that. But I've always gone with that. I don't drink.
You're content with that.
Yeah. I never did drugs. These are things that I never was like, yeah, sure, I'll try it because everybody else is. I've always felt the sense of, I'm going to do what I want to do. I love Disney and video games and all sorts of other stuff, sports, watching sports, just hanging out, going places. So I always have been proud of that I've stayed true to myself. And I'd say as I got older, it became more and more staying true to myself. I think similar to me is just staying true to herself. Mm-hmm. She wasn't someone that thought about being with multiple people. Mm-hmm. She was very selective, and she stayed true to herself about being a good person and wanting whoever she was going to be with to be special. And just staying true to that and how hard that is, growing up. So, and obviously for me, as a guy, to me, that is something that I looked for and liked, because I'm a relationship type person. I've always been a relationship person. So someone that is selective and is true to themselves about, let's face it, not sleeping around.
Okay, for me, the personality trait, I like that I can make myself laugh when nobody's in the room.
She makes herself laugh, for sure.
I do. I look.
For sure.
I go and I'm editing the vlogs, and I'm just busting up at myself because.
Sometimes you're laughing at kids too, though. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's because of something that I did, because I was being a dork to get them to do it.
Swears. Yeah.
But yeah, no, for me, I think it's pretty funny when I do something, and Jason's sitting there like, "Why are you laughing?" I'm like, "I'm just laughing at myself."
Well, yeah, because I'm walking out of another room. I think. So, anyway,
kind of psychotic in a way, but yeah, I like to laugh at myself. In a positive way, though, not a negative way. In a positive way. And then for you, I like that you make me laugh. Looking for somebody, I wanted somebody that wasn't serious and uptight, you know, that could be just carefree and like to have fun. And yeah, Jason definitely, as you've seen from our blooper videos, definitely has a personality. All right, so number 8. How did your siblings shape who you are?
That's easy. I've thought about this more as I got older, and I'm sure people out there, when you really think about it, think the same thing. But I wonder, you know, if I didn't grow up with siblings, you know, where a lot of my influences would come from. But you know, I've had influences from my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister growing up. I think of music, and I think of how much I've been influenced by all of them, and I think about sports and how I've been influenced by them. So I would say that it's almost like a buffet, and you're just picking out what stuff you like. It's right in front of you because you have siblings, because, you know, your parents are telling you what they like. I wonder, growing up, not having those influences, I guess it would be, you know, some of your friends to see, you know, what they liked and what would you like because it's in front of you. But yeah, they were a big impact on me as far as pretty much everything, you know, giving me their advice. So I'm the youngest, and they're both older than me. And growing up, it was good. It was good to get, you know, that advice that they got probably from just learning it the hard way. But I think they gave me a little bit of a head start on certain things.
For me, it's kind of the opposite. I'm the oldest, 19 years older, and my little sister also does have special needs. She has Down syndrome and she's autistic. So for me, growing up, I and Jason knows this, and I'm working on it, but I'm a little bit impatient. And for me, my sister actually helped slow me down and be more patient with people and with things not going the right way and stuff like that. Seeing how she overcame learning how to walk and learning how to eat solid foods, and her learning how to talk still, because she is nonverbal. But she's taught me how to be more patient and more empathetic for people that take more time. All right, number 9. What is one thing that you're most proud of yourself, and what is one thing that you're proud of me?
One thing I've always thought about when I grew up, and it got more specific as I got older, but you know, just being a dad and making sure that I'm a good dad, and just seeing how that's measured. And I look at it as if they're happy, and if they're happy, then I think that, you know, I take that as a good sign. And that's something that I'm most proud of. And there's all sorts of other things, but if you ask me just the most proud, it's that, because it's always been a dream of mine to be a dad, but not only that, but to be a good dad. And then with you, when I grew up, I thought, okay, I'm gonna have kids and things like that, but it was very general. But I'm thinking, just from talking to Ash about this in the past, is, you know, she's been thinking about this for way longer and way more specific than I ever got. Mine was always just general. You gonna have kids? Yeah. That's pretty much how it went until I was like an adult, and I started thinking about like, oh yeah, I should start thinking about what that looks like. But yeah, so I think about the same thing. You know, looking at her as a mom and develop into a mom that she is today from day one to now. Because to me, in growing up, people used to tell me the same thing: is that the hardest job you'll ever have is being a parent. And I think for me, it never ends. You know, it's never going to end, and you know, you don't want it to. So you always be their parent, no matter what. Yeah. So I think when I look at Ash and see the development, and you know, the same thing, you know, if they're happy, I think that as a good sign as a mother, as a mom, that we're doing something right, and how they're learning and all sorts of things. When I met Ash, she was very much like, this is what I know, and this is what I'm what I'm going to do. And since we met to today, she's opened up a lot more and been more adventurous and taking on challenges head on. And as before, she was a little bit more timid about taking on challenges and moving forward with dreams and goals, as opposed to now she's on that journey and takes the initiative and takes on a challenge now, and just seeing that development has been good. But I think in the beginning because we talked about this one time, I think in our other vlog, was our age difference. I knew I had a lot more experience than she did, and so I'm like looking. It's almost like I'm looking at her like I've been through that, and so you have to have patience to see that through. And even though it's been hard at times, just because as someone that has that experience, you're just like, why don't you just do this? Why don't you just do that? Like, because you already have that experience. It's easy. Yeah, it's easy for you because you have that experience. You have to kind of take a step back and be like, okay, gotta have patience. And yeah, it's been good to see that, because it could have just been like you're there, you have that experience, and it never happens, and that would be bad. But it's moved forward nicely, and she's taking on challenges and responsibility and experiencing things that I probably didn't, when I was her age at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been good to see that. But again, I have to go back to, it's been a learning experience, because you have to be patient, and you get all excited when it doesn't happen. You're like, wait a minute, just do this and it'll happen.
So for me, I think the proudest thing about myself is being a mom. I've always wanted to be a mom, and I think that's the proudest thing that I can be ever, is the mom that I am and the mom that I'm going to be in 10 years from now. I strive to be the best that I can be, even though it does come with challenges, and you're never a perfect parent, and you want your kids to just be happy, and that's what I strive to as a mom. And then to also go off of what Jason said, I'm proud of who I am now, thanks to Jason and thanks to his motivation and him pushing me in the direction that I want to go. He's helped me get over some of my fears and helped me talk them out, and I'm just proud of the person I'm going to be in the future. So what I'm proud of you about is, one, that you're a great dad. The kids love you, and you are just awesome with them, even when you have your short fuses. But you are awesome about it, and and the fact that you are also a very hard worker. The last 2 years have been a bit of a challenge for us, but we've made it work, and it's all because of you pushing us in the right direction and making it all work. Okay, our last question is, what things about me make you know that I'm the one for you?
Oh yeah. So this is an interesting question and an interesting answer. I always wanted to be a dad. I've always wanted to have kids, and knowing that you're the mom, I like to say that, meaning she's the mother of my children. So, and that will never change. And to me, yeah, I don't know if you can be the one in the scenario that I'm talking about if you're not the mother,
Mm-hmm.
Because it was a dream of mine to have kids in a family. That holds a lot of weight for me, just you being their mom and seeing that, and us both develop as parents. I think, to me, that's the biggest thing. But I could go down a list, but obviously the interest, with Disney is big to me.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, speaking of that, just going over different things with our pre-marriage counselor of like, hey, here's 5 things that you really need to consider. You need to consider before talking to another person, about what is, their deal breakers. Like for me, a huge interest of mine obviously is Disney, and someone that's not into Disney, I think it would be tough for me. And someone that didn't want to get married obviously is a deal breaker. Someone that did drugs, deal breaker. I mean, those are pretty easy for me, but someone that didn't like Disney would be difficult, for me. I always love to go back to this, but like I think about the Notebook and on the part where Noah is saying it's not going to be easy, but I'm in, but it's what I want. And so I think about that in our relationship, and it hasn't been easy, but it's been worth it. That's what I was saying. So like I don't want to sugarcoat it to say like it's some
rainbow sunshine.
Yeah, rainbows and sunshine, and that happily ever after every single day. You work on it, and I like the fact that also this long-winded short version, but I like the fact that she's willing to work on it and listen and talk about it, because I feel like it would be a deal breaker, because sometimes you can run into that where the person just doesn't want to talk about it and kind of brush it under the rug. So the short version is there's a lot of things that I know, but the most important thing is being the mother of my children, being a good mom, and being a good influence. That holds a lot of weight for me.
Thank you. Let's see. So, things that make me know that you are the one for me. Well, first, the fact that you were so adamant on helping me reach my goals. When we first started dating, he literally helped me write out a list of things that I needed to accomplish, and I being very shy and timid and very introverted, I was scared to do them, but he walked me through it step by step, and even when he was frustrated, he stood there and he helped me write my papers, and he helped me fix my resumes and everything like that. Nobody takes that much time on one specific person unless they're all in. And you, from day one, have been nothing but all hands on deck. And another reason that I knew that you were the one was the fact that you knew what you wanted in life. You wanted to have kids. You had Annie's name picked out already, and most guys don't even have names for their kids.
Well, I had a chance to really think about it. Because I didn't think about it for a long time, and then it just came to me, and
Yeah, but that was one of the reasons why I knew that you were serious and driven to be a good dad. You already had your daughter's name picked out and your song picked out for her wedding. You already have it. So for me, knowing that he was so dedicated to be a good dad, even before we started, before he even asked me to be his girlfriend, he already knew that that's what he wanted. So for me, that's one of the other reasons why I knew he was a keeper. But yeah, that's the last question.
Yeah, that's it.
So if you guys liked this, definitely let us know. And so now we want to extend this. So these 10 questions, we want to challenge some of our friends here on YouTube. So we want to challenge Happily Ever Edwards, and then we want to challenge Our Life, Our Way, and the Vargas family vlogs. We want to challenge you guys to sit down and ask each other these questions and tag us in them. But with that said, I think this is the end of our vlog, and we hope that you guys enjoyed. Remember, family, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell to become part of the family. Until then, have a family-filled day, and we'll talk to you in our next video. See you later.
See ya.